Welcome to Small Steps. My name's Seth Potts and I want to show you how to add and use the camera tool in Excel. The first thing you're going to do is go up to your File tab. You get to this screen, go down to the Options, and when you get to this, look down the side options here and find Quick Access Toolbar. What these are at the very top of your screen. If you notice the few buttons that are they're saved on there, I don't know what's default on here or not, but so this menu here, it starts off with popular commands. You're going to want to switch that over to all commands. And you can see there's just a crazy amount of things you can add up to your toolbar. We are looking for one in particular. That is here, the camera. So highlight that and click over to add. So when you click OK, you will notice up here you have a new button. It is the camera button. So I'll show you how this camera works. I have some data here. I just pulled, this is from a traffic sign, just some radar signs, some speed numbers and speed counts for time of day, and then a total just over a random period of time I have here. So these are just kind of random numbers we have, but it's just an example of how to use it. So you have this data. Let's say it's something you constantly update, and you have all of this. There's a lot of columns here. It's kind of hard to display all of this. And honestly, when we're looking at something like this in crime analysis for the department, they're typically not going to be too interested in some of these numbers down here. I think this reaches 25 miles an hour as a speed limit. So really looking at some things like this, everything up to 25 miles an hour, other than the count of cars, just to get that, they're not really interested in. There's not much to analyze there as far as the speeds go. Let's say that even going 5 over to maybe 10 over, kind of depends on the area, if it's high crash zone or certain things like that. Maybe we don't care about things up to 35 miles an hour as far as spending time, extra time patrolling, things like that in the area. So let's say out of all this information, what we're really interested in is just part of this. And these numbers are something that can constantly change. So let's just say this somewhere I come in and copy and paste data into here for the different streets, this or that. So when I copy this information here, or highlight it rather, I can come up here and click on this camera, and it has like kind of the dotted line around it that I've copied it. It doesn't exactly copy and paste like normal. I get to a new sheet here where I'm going to paste it. And wherever I click, I'll right click, and you see it just pastes it out here. You'll notice it's not snapped to any cells. It literally just looks like a picture. You can expand it, make them bigger, smaller, anything you want like that. The nice thing about this, it's kind of more for like a dashboard even. I know I've talked about dashboards before, and when you have tables and stuff that update off of a pivot table, things like that. If you do the background color, we'll change that here and make it gray. This allows this table to be moved around, and no matter what happens with this data here, the background stays the same. I'll go back to this sheet here. Let's look at this. There's 2 cars during it was during 5 o'clock rush hour, if I recall correctly here. Really excited to get where they're going over 100 miles an hour. It's actually pretty impressive on this road. So let's say I look at that and found out like, yeah, that's not accurate. There's no real possible way, short stretch, that they could do that. And come back to this data here, and it'd be the same as if you replace this data regularly. I can come over here to where that is. I can change that to 0, change that total to 0 as well. Come back to the picture I took, and it updates. So this camera, when you use this, it allows you to update from that main screen, and these numbers will all update, or anything in the cell. I could change the way I format any of this stuff, and it changes over on that sheet right here. Let's just do that just to show even the formatting there. Let's say we want to add stuff like this. If you're going to print it out, let's go ahead and add some lines there. So now you kind of have the option to really design something and make it where it's easier to print or easier to send on. If you do something like this, and this could be a screen that you share with others, but you can kind of do all your dirty work on this sheet. You can use different camera shots from different tables. So if you have multiple tabs here with different data and you're just wanting to capture one part of it for each of those, you can add all of those onto this same sheet and kind of have an effective dashboard that updates when you update those other tabs. So that's kind of the long and short of the camera tool and kind of the uses of it. I prefer, like I say, using kind of for a dashboard for a presentation mode, or something like this. If I have something formatted in such a way that it fits on a sheet, I know where the sheet is, I can make this larger or smaller and print just that page. So multiple things you could do with it for your end result, but it is a handy tool. Good to know that you have that and you can use for multiple things. If you found this tutorial helpful and would like to see more, click like and subscribe. The next video coming up is going to be over absolute references.